Without any exaggeration whatsoever, this might be the single best sub $100 mechanical watch I've ever had on this channel. Hello, my friends. Another day, another watch, another video, another Berny to take a look at, if the camera would focus. I did this today because I usually take it out of the shipping box before we take a look at this stuff. But if you were ever worried about ordering from AliExpress, Berny in particular, don't worry about the packaging. These things are packaged wonderfully and they make the trip well. This is going to be a compressor style diver. You've already seen the thumbnail, so you know what it is. I haven't seen it in person yet, so let's do a little unboxing and see what we got going on here. So with pretty much every Berny watch, this is what lies inside of the shipping box. And it's not that impressive, but honestly, I don't mind. These are not expensive watches. This one currently listed on AliExpress for $100 US, and there's a $10 off $99 or more coupon. So 90 bucks as of now. When I purchased this with my own money, mind you, during the most recent AliExpress sale, I think it was a couple of months ago. It just took me a while to get around to reviewing this one. I think I paid $80 after all the coupons, but you know, prices change up and down. But if you're looking for something for under 100 bucks, this might be it. So let's go ahead and get this bubble wrap off. It's kind of loosely wrapped around the pillow. Is there any other goodies that they include for us here? It looks like we got a book kind of telling us a little bit about the watch, instruction manual, a bunch of different languages. I don't think we're going to need that. So let's go ahead and get this stuff off camera and focus on why we're all here. This is the Berny. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the model name is. I forgot it. Let's look it up really quick. They refer to it as a men's diver's watch. The model is AM339M, or this one, more specifically, is the AM339MS. I think the S is because it's on a silicone strap, I believe. Yeah, that's got to be it. The one with the M is just going to be on a bracelet. The MS is going to be the silicone strap version. We're not seeing too much of anything, so let's go ahead and get the plastic off of here. And while all that happens, if you're somebody who likes watch review videos like this, I try to do them about as often as I can. So if you're so inclined, go ahead and tell us a like on this video. It really helps. Maybe a comment down below. Let me know what you want me to look at next. And subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more of the stuff that I publish. And if you're ever looking to actually pick up one of these watches because you just can't stand it anymore and it needs to be on your wrist, it's a really big help to the channel if you use the affiliate links down in the description. You don't pay any more, but I get a couple of bucks and it helps me pick up more watches to show to you. And taking the plastic off has told me that I was wrong about that model number. This is clearly the AM339M-A. So I guess A is our colorway there. And the steel bracelet version is going to be the MS. So I guess S stands for steel, not for silicone. I don't know what that QR code takes you to, but feel free to scan it if you're curious. But this is the watch, and initial impressions in hand are that it's pretty nice. Sorry, I got to get a little microfiber here so we can clean this boy off and get a better look at it. And maybe, just maybe, what looks like we're already ticking away, but let's go ahead and unscrew this crown. This 4 o'clock crown is going to be the one that kind of controls the watch. You can wind it and then set the time. You'll be able to see it if we pull all the way out. This does have hacking seconds. This is a Miyota 8 series movement. We'll get into specs in a little bit, but let's go ahead and give this a nice wind so we're kicked up all good and proper. And then we'll go ahead and put this to our nice little, 10-10 setting so things are kind of out of the way. We'll screw that back in, which is easier said than done. There we go. Screw that crown back in. I can already tell you I like the crown operation on this. These crowns are nice. They're big enough without being too chunky, and they're nicely knurled. So if you got big hands like me, you're still going to be able to get a nice grip on those crowns, which is fantastic. What do you say we go over some specs?
Doopy 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 de papa de papa specs.
We have a 42 millimeter case diameter, a 49.3 millimeter lug to lug, 13 millimeter case thickness, and the whole shebang on a silicone strap weighs in at 113 grams. We have a stainless steel case. They don't say what kind of stainless steel, but 316L is very common in watches like this, so that's where I'd put my money. Sapphire crystal on front and back, a 200 meter water resistance with dual screw down crowns, which support that. A lug width of 22 millimeters. I love the proportions on this watch for my wrist. High quality silicone strap. The model or reference number here is AM339M-A. We have a Miyota 8215 movement beating away on the inside, giving us time, center seconds, and date. A 42-hour power reserve. Accuracy is stated at -20 to +40 seconds a day, but I had this boy on a time grapher, and it was giving me like +4.5 seconds a day, which is pretty fantastic. So your mileage may vary, but this one came to me running really nicely and looking really nicely too. Okay, so what are our first impressions here? As I look at this, I'm looking at the typeface that they're using. I really like that number font, especially around the inner timing bezel. It's more of a timing rehaut, right? That's what these compressor style divers have. So we unscrew this crown, and then now you can put this wherever you want to. Let's see how easy it is to screw back down right at 12 o'clock, because sometimes these are a little bit of a pain in the butt and they move on you. But if it's well designed, when you press this crown in to screw it back down, that shouldn't move anymore. And this one didn't. So that's really nice. Ease of operation is great. Some lower quality compressor style divers like this make it almost impossible to get that triangle up there bang on at 12 o'clock. But this has done a good job. A lot of rounded off edges here. That's kind of the theme. We have hour markers that are circles at 3, 6, and 9. We have kind of pills, and then you have the double pill there at noon. Obviously, your Berny branding at 12 o'clock. Take it or leave it. You know, your mileage may vary. Whether you like the name Berny or not, that's going to kind of be up to you. The date window at 3:30 is a super interesting one. That's not something that I've seen very often, and I don't hate it. It's just as legible as a date window at 3 o'clock, but it doesn't throw off the symmetry of the dial because you're not losing the larger hour marker there at 3 o'clock. So it might make things a little bit busier at first glance, but that's kind of a nice unobtrusive date window. It's nicely integrated. They didn't bother with framing it. It's a nice matching black date wheel, so it kind of goes away when you don't want it there, but if you ever need to check the date, you're going to be able to read it. The hands are kind of a half black, half white situation going on. It gives you that kind of floating vibe, maybe much like, kind of like a Rolex Explorer 2 black dial. I think it does that, where the kind of the inner parts of the hands are black to kind of blend in with the dial, and the rest of the hands are contrasting and kind of look like they're floating. We have white lume in the hour hand and orange lume in the minute hand, which is really cool. The Lume Shot on this is going to be really fun. That's one of the party tricks of this watch, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. Has some nice vertical brushing along the sides. Sorry about any fingerprints you see. Those are my fault, not Bernie's fault. But nice vertical brushing along the sides. The transition between brush and polish is pretty decent. It's a nicely polished bezel. We have nicely polished lugs, a little bit of a chamfer there. So this watch case has a little bit more character than you would think at first glance. I really like the chamfers on those lugs. It just adds a little extra light pop, a little extra reflectivity, and a little extra interest. I think that makes it more interesting. And with 200 meters water resistance, we have screw down crowns as expected. I love this colorway, the black with the orange. This also comes in a blue with orange accents and a green with orange accents. And each of those colors come either on a matching silicone strap, which feels really nice in my hand, or a steel bracelet. I went with the strap. I just kind of like the look of that a little bit better for me. And we do have a brushed steel pin buckle, but it's not signed. There's a little zonk on it right there. I wish it had Bernie on the pin buckle, and that was signed. Outside of that, this is looking good. I also kind of wish it had a solid case back because, I mean, it's a Miyota 8215. There's not a whole lot to look at here movement-wise. I mean, if you really want to see the movement on your watch, this kind of gets that done. But personally, with a movement like this, I just as soon cover it up and give me a nice etched case back, something interesting. And you can kind of see a little spec sheet around there. Automatic, 21 joules, stainless steel, sapphire crystal, 200 meters or 20 ATM water resistance, our Bernie branding, and another reminder of how I had the reference number woefully incorrect at the top of this video. All in all, for under $100, this is a solid option if you're looking for a compressor style dive watch, especially if you're looking for something with some wrist presence for a bit of a larger wrist. This is a 42 millimeter case. That's why I gravitated towards it, because I have an 8-inch wrist. And speaking of that 8-inch wrist, let's get this watch on that wrist and see how it looks. And here we are. The Bernie, whatever the heck the reference number is, on my 8-inch wrist. And I got to tell you guys, this looks freaking fantastic. Like, it fills out the wrist nicely. It's proportioned wonderfully. It is not too thick. It is not too thin. It is a sports watch that feels like it's ready to go out and be a sports watch. And can we talk about this strap really quick? Because as somebody with an 8-inch wrist, I'm usually on the last 1, 2, maybe 3 holes on any watch strap, kind of standard size, right? Watch strap that I get in. And this is like, I'm not wearing this too tight. It is not squeezing my wrist. It's kind of hugging my wrist. But you can see if I press up a little bit, like it's easy to get some play there. This is not squeezing my wrist in any way. And I have a full, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 open holes left on my 8-inch wrist. So if you are somebody who struggles to find watches that fit you out of the box because of your large wrist size, this needs to go way up on your list really quickly. And can I also commend them about sourcing a strap that actually contours the case and fills in all gaps here. Even thickness. This rides right even with the lugs. And these kind of, I know they're not end links, but call it the end links where the strap meets the case, right? This is designed exceptionally well. It could have been a whole lot easier, I imagine, for them to just source a standard silicone strap and stick it in between the lugs and be okay. But this is going the extra mile, and it shows. As a package, this thing wears about as nicely as any budget sports watch that I've ever taken a look at. The only question is whether or not you want a watch on your wrist that says Bernie on the dial. If that doesn't bum you out or bother you at all, this is incredible. And if you want to take a look at it, go ahead and use the affiliate link in the description. It helps out the channel. I'd really appreciate it. You don't pay any more for the watch, but I get a couple of dollars if you order it, and that would be fantastic to help me get some watches coming in here so we can get this channel back to being a little bit more active. But the orange hits, the black, the white, the contrast. The one thing that there is left to take a look at is the Lume, and that is one heck of a party trick with this one. So let's go ahead and cut to a Lume shot. And here is our real world Lume shot, walking from the full sun into our dimly lit garage/studio. And can we just bask in the glory of this Lume for a little bit? We got the orange, we got the greens, we got the blues. It's everything that you would ever want. It looks phenomenal, highly legible, and darn it, when the lights go out, it's fun. Bernie knocks the Lume out of the park often, and this is no exception. This is where I usually cut the shot, but let's just give it a couple more seconds. Without any exaggeration whatsoever, this might be the single best sub $100 mechanical watch I've ever had on this channel. And that's saying a lot because we've had some pretty darn good ones. I just took a look at the Lume Shot on this, and holy moly, if it couldn't get any better, right? For under $100, the quality that you are getting with this is, I mean, it's kind of sticking my jaw straight to the floor. I know that, I mean, maybe the one thing that's lacking or that you could improve on it is take this from a Miyota 8 series movement to a 9 series movement. So you would get a 4 hertz smoother sweep as opposed to a 3 hertz sweep. That's really being nitpicky, guys. The final thoughts on this are pretty simple. If you in any way think that you might like this watch, just go buy it. Like it's worth taking a flyer on, because I don't think anybody who receives this for this price point is going to be disappointed, especially if you can snag one of those AliExpress coupons that drops this down to like that $90 price point. Like that's insane to me. $90. The fact that I picked this up for $80 makes me feel like I partly stole it. And the other thing about this is this silicone strap. And I know silicone straps can get a little bit boring, but it's nicely textured. I really like the texture on the outside, but even more so, I love that it's vented on the inside, so it's not going to make you sweat. And this is not that kind of slippy, dippy silicone that has your watch sliding and rotating around your wrist if it's not perfectly fit to it. This is a more, I doubt it's a more robust silicone, but that's the vibe that it gives me. It feels a little bit more robust, and it's not like a high gloss finish or anything like that. There's some texture to this. So once you get it on your wrist where you like it, it's going to stay there. I have some other watches with other silicone straps, and I can say, based on my experience with those, that having a nice silicone strap that stays put is non-trivial. That is a thing that is to be valued and not taken for granted. I guess the only other zonk would be like the Berny signature on the pin buckle. So give me a signed pin buckle, maybe kick it up to a Miyota 9000 series movement. Both of those would be really cool, but don't change anything else about this watch. It's phenomenal. It's a darn near perfect $100 automatic watch. I wouldn't even want it to be any slimmer, because at 42 millimeters in diameter, the proportions are really good and it wears really nicely. So yeah, I mean, all that thickness talk, all that lug width and diameters across the wrist, like a lot of that is personal preference. This is obviously a watch that's made with kind of bigger wrists in mind, and I appreciate that. And if you've been watching my channel for a little while and you like what I bring from a larger wristed reviewer, then you probably appreciate that too. So if you're in the market for something around $100, I think this needs to go, maybe it doesn't go on the top of your list, but it needs to be towards the top of your list for consideration the next time that you're putting in an order somewhere. Again, links down in the description. That is going to be an AliExpress affiliate link. This video was not sponsored. I guess it was sponsored by my wallet, or it was sponsored there. It was sponsored by my company. This video brought to you by Red Button Media, which is how I actually support my family and pay for all these things to review here, because this ain't really making any money for me. So head over to hittheredbutton.com if you are or you know of a founder, an executive, or a salesperson who's looking for a content system to make them more visible with targeted messaging for revenue producing audiences. For this audience though, the whole let's talk watches thing, this is a little passion project for me. So use the affiliate links below. It helps me buy an extra watch and stick it on the channel now and again. I want to know what you guys think about this, because I think this is the third Berny that I've had on the channel. This is the best one. And it's close, but this is the best one. That yellow dial kind of cushion case that I had on before, really, really cool. I'll link that so you can go watch that video now if you haven't yet. Really cool watch. But if you're looking for something with a more subdued kind of dial color, this is the one to get, guys. And gals, but it's mostly guys who watch this channel. This is the one. We'll see you next time.